Today, I'll be sharing what's been on my needles lately. I've got some very beautiful finished objects to share and also some very exciting new cast on. Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. If we've never met before, I'm Honey and this is my knitting channel where I talk only about knitting. Today I'm back with the project update video. I think it's been a month, maybe more, since my last podcast video. So I've got quite a bit to share. I've got some very exciting new cast-ons to show you. If you've checked my previous video, you might know which one I'm talking about. But yeah, let's just jump right in. All right, I'll start with something that I showed in my previous video, but it wasn't blocked then, and now it's blocked and I have to show it again. This is the Petali Slipover. This was a test knit that I did for Marie-Éve from Inherskein. She's also on YouTube and Instagram, and yeah, I fell in love with this slipover once I saw she was sharing this in her YouTube videos, like the design process. And the moment I saw it, I was like, I need to own that slipover. It's such a cute and very satisfying knit, to be honest. So I've talked more about the details, as in like the construction, in my previous video, but just to give another quick overview, if you haven't watched that video, this is knit sideways. So you basically you cast on this whole section of one end and then you knit this way. So that was a pretty unique and new to me construction, and it kept it very engaging. It was a very quick knit as well. I think I finished this in a week. It's a DK weight project and it's knit up on a 4mm needles, and I'll show you what yarn I used for this. So I did use, this is how much I've got left. So this is the Bûches Le Lambswool, so they're DK weight, and I held it with the Isager Mohair. The Biches is in the color, I think, brown red. I'll put it in the description. All the colors and yarn patterns, everything's going to be in the description of the video. And this was color 33, I think. So it's this very beautiful, like rusty color. And guys, I love this fabric and the yarn. This was the first time I was trying this yarn, and it's amazing. It's very soft, even though it seems a bit like dry and woolly, but it really blooms and softens up after you block it. And it gave me a very nice gauge on a 4mm needle. So this pattern has two versions. It has like a cropped version, it's got a regular version, and then like regular length. And then for the armholes, it has like a deeper armhole, which is the one that I knit, and then like a more like regular depth. I knit mine in the second size, but this one grew quite a lot during my knitting and also after I blocked it. So my length now is actually closer to the regular length, so it didn't give me like a cropped one, which I was hoping to get because I was planning to wear this mostly on like dresses, but it's fine. I'm still happy with it. It looks really beautiful. I found like a very perfect shirt to pair it with. I'm going to put up like a photo of this. So yeah, I just love it. It has the most gorgeous scalloped edge. That was like the most fun part, and it's so easy to make. It actually doesn't look it looks complicated, but it's so easy to create. So once I finished this, I was like, I need to have this in a summer version because we're entering warmer weather here. And I really like the white summery version that she's also wearing in one of her videos. And yeah, I thought, okay, maybe I can cast on another one with a summery yarn. And if you've been here from like very early days of my channel, you might remember I had like a cumulus tee that I knit from Petite Knit last year from, I used the Knitting for Olive cotton merino. Well, I frogged that. And I used the yarn for this because I think I only wore that like twice. There was something about it I didn't like. It was a bit too small and fitted. It was a bit too short, and the fact that it had sleeves, I never really grabbed for it. And I was like, I really want to use that yarn. It's a very beautiful yarn. So I just frogged it and used it. So I turned it into the most, this is so cute. So this is more like, this is again the cropped version, but I knit this one in the first size because I was afraid that I'm going to run out of yarn, but I still actually have this much left. So this is the Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color Ballerina. I had to hold this double to meet gauge. So, and I knit on 4mm again, but I did the more like regular length for the armholes because I knew I was going to be wearing this like by itself, so I didn't want it to be too exposed. And it's cropped, but this is the actual crop length that you can get, so I did meet the measurements after I blocked it. And I love the fabric. I think I like the cotton merino held double a bit more than single. It does give, like, the knitting itself was more fun, and I like the fabric. It's really airy and like breathable, and it fits very nicely. I think I'm going to try it on and like show you how it looks. But yeah, now I have 2 slipovers, and that's what happens when I really love a design. I think this pattern is going to be out early December. I don't know the exact date, but I'll probably post it on my Instagram once the pattern is out. Yeah, it's a very engaging and satisfying knit. It knits up really fast, and the construction is like really smart. The pattern writing style was so clear, and like it was so amazing. I really enjoyed the whole knitting experience. She also has like a tutorial that just shows all the steps in case you need a bit of like hand holding in sections that you might not be too clear of like how to do it. So yeah, let me know if you've got any more questions. I'm so glad that now I own these 2 and I know I'm going to be wearing them a ton. All right, that was my first finished object. Now let's talk about my second finished object, which you might have already spotted. It's my Móinéar sweater. This is a design by Ailbíona. She's, I think, an Irish designer, new to me designer. If you watch my Colourwork pattern inspo video, this came out of that video. I was in love with this pattern and I wanted to knit it. And immediately after that video, I just cast it on. It finished pretty quickly because it's knit up on a 5mm needle. It's an Aran weight gauge. I knit mine in Knitting for Olive heavy merino in the color dark mousse, held it with the pairing mohair for the base color, and for the like the color motif, I use Knitting for Olive heavy merino in the color dove blue, I think, and the mohair in, again, dusty dove blue, I think. And that's how much I've got left from, from the contrast color. So I only ordered 1 ball for the blue, and I don't know why. I should have got 2 because I ordered this directly from their website, so it took a while for it to arrive. Once I finished the yoke, there's only like a very tiny bit color work in the cuffs, but I was afraid it's not going to be even enough for that. So what I did, I just like split the yarn to 2 equal, you know, like weights. So I made sure that I'll just stop whenever I'm getting close, so I have enough for the other one. And I try to knit the arm itself, like the sleeves itself, a bit longer before I get to the ribbing, because I knew I couldn't get like a very longer ribbing. But I'm happy with the length of the ribbing. I don't think I would have wanted it to be like longer. And the sleeve, there's like no decreases along the sleeves. You just keep doing very rapid decreases once you reach to the cuff. So it's sort of like a balloony-ish, not too drastic. And I think I knit it a bit like shorter than it's supposed to be. And I knit this in the 3rd size. So I've learned my lessons from Colourwork because I usually do tend to knit a bit tighter when it comes to Colourwork. My tension goes a bit off. I was planning to knit the 2nd size, but I went with the 3rd size and I'm really happy. I think it fits me really nicely. I haven't knit so many circular yoke patterns before. I think this is my 2nd one, but it fits very nicely. There's like short rows after you finish the Colourwork section. So it does really fit really nicely. I don't feel it's like choking me or anything. And I really love the fit. I think it's really nice. I wasn't too sure that I'm a fan of circular yoke, like how it fits on me. But after this one, I actually changed my mind. I think it really fits beautifully. I don't know if it was this pattern only or what, but I loved it. The pattern was so amazing, like so clear. I love how she was like, she gives you 2 charts for the Colourwork section. If you want to do like, you knit your base color in a brighter, like a lighter color, and the contrast color in a darker color. So you've got 2 options, so it won't be confusing. I just love her style. She's got this very unique style when she photo shoots her designs. I don't know, there's something about it that I really love, and I think I'm going to be knitting more from her. But this was the first one. I absolutely loved it. But yeah, there was something sad about this sweater, and that was that after I finished the yoke, like the colorwork section, and it finished pretty quickly. I think in 2 or 3 sittings I just finished the yoke, and then I was like left with this whole stockinette in one color sweater that I really sort of like lost my interest in. I do like when colorwork patterns have the colorwork motif like all over the sweater. I could have like done something, but I really wanted the actual look of the sweater. I loved it so much. So it was a bit of like a sad moment when I finished the yoke. The neckband is pretty nice as well. It's a 2x1 ribbing, but in 2 colors. First time doing that. The cuffs as well is 2x1, but the bottom section is just 1x1 ribbing. I did want to also add some like color to the hem, but firstly I didn't have enough yarn, and then I thought the 2x1 ribbing in 2 colors, it doesn't have any like stretchiness to it. It's like a stockinette fabric, so I didn't really want the bottom section to just flare out if there's like no cinching in, so I just went with the 1x1 ribbing, and I think I really like how it looks. It really looks nice when I pair it with jeans because of the blue color, and I think the color combo turned out really nice. I was going for a bit of a lighter color for the brown, but I think I still like it. It really looks nice. I love it so much, guys. I think it's very beautiful. But this Aran weight sweater might be a bit heavy for, I don't know, like Melbourne weathers. We don't get that much of a cold weather here. So usually a DK weight pattern is more like suitable for me, but it's still fine. I know I'm going to get a lot of wear out of it still. And thanks to our very super cold house, I can just wear it around the house as well. Yeah, honestly, some days our house, it's even colder than outside. I don't know how that's possible. I used to hate that before, but now that I've got like a whole stack of sweaters to just wear around the house, I can't really complain. But this yarn, guys, it just completely changed after I blocked it. So it does feel a bit dry once you like touch it before you block it, but it just changes so much. It softens up really beautifully. It blooms. It just fills out all those gaps in your knit stitches. It's such a beautiful yarn. First time trying it. I think I'm going to be using it again, but as I said, an Aran weight sweater, I need to be more mindful of like how many of those I really need. Okay, that was it. That was all I wanted to share about my Móinéar sweater. I love it. This is another addition to my Colourwork knitting pieces, which it's actually growing, and I'm so excited. So my last finished object, I actually didn't show it in my last video, in my last podcast video, because I haven't really worked on it that much back then, but now it's finished. So this is the Lane Loop sweater by Other Loops. It's such a gorgeous, just raglan, very easy to follow pattern. This was inspired mostly by the yarn. So I bought this yarn after I was very influenced by all the beautiful sweaters and knitted pieces I was seeing on Pinterest in this cobalt blue color, and I got this from Sandnes Garn, Tynn and their Mohair in the color Jolly Blue. It's such a like vibrant blue color. I love the color, and this is my favorite yarn, guys. Tynn Gynt. I love it. I'm not the biggest fan of their mohair. It's like, there's definitely nicer mohair out there, but the Tynn Gynt I really love. I love how it just, the tension I get from this yarn pairing with a mohair on a 4 or 3.5 millimeter needle is the best. And after you block it, it just softens up. I know some people find this scratchy. I don't, and I'm so glad that I don't, because it's a very beautiful yarn to knit with. And this is the fabric that it gave me. It's so beautiful. This is just a top-down raglan sweater. You start with the neckband. The neckband's this beautiful 2x1 ribbing, which I think is my, no, 2x2 ribbing is my favorite ribbing, then 2x1, and then 1x1. I'm losing my whole interest in 1x1 knitting, ribbing, but it's funny because most of the designs, they use 1x1. So yeah, when you start with the neckband, you do like a folded neckband, and then you start adding these raglan stitches in, again, a 2x1 ribbing, and then that ribbing flows all over in the body, so all the side sections as well. it has this ribbing. And it's so interesting because you keep doing some decreases and increases to make that ribbing flow in the front. I don't know if you can really see it, but it's like it's moving towards the front, the ribbing, which is interesting. And the ribbing also goes all over the sleeve. So you've got that beautiful ribbing all over the sleeves as well. And then 2x1 for the cuff. What else? It does have short rows. That's why you see the neck sitting really nicely. It also has short rows right before you do the hem. But I didn't really do that. I didn't really want the back to sit too much further down from the front. So I just omitted that section and I still think it fits really beautifully. Another very basic sweater in my wardrobe, which this color really makes me happy. I've never owned this color before, so it's a bit of like a new color. And honestly, when the yarn arrived, I did freak out a little bit because I was like, wow, this is too bright. But I think it started to grow on me once like I knit it, and I think it's pretty. But yeah, I'm happy. If you're looking for like a very nice fitting raglan sweater, easy to follow and knit, I think this is a very nice pattern. I've knit so many of other Loops designs before. I really like her style. Her patterns are okay. I know some people don't enjoy her writing style. They find it a bit not too clear. I don't have any issues with it. It's pretty like easy for me to follow. And did I say what size I knit this? I think I knit this in the first size. I think so. Okay, that was all my finished objects. I'm starting to get a bit worried about my wardrobe situation. I mean, what am I going to do with all these sweaters? Don't get me wrong, I love all of them. But I just, you know, like you're like, I only have one body. I can't really wear them that much. Yeah, I don't know. I might get used to it. I think since this is my first year as a knitter, like owning this many pieces is a very new feeling to me that I might get used to it. I don't know. Do you ever think about this as well? Like the amount of knitted pieces that you knit and you feel like, okay, I really don't need that many. But at the same time, it just gives you so much joy and fun just to have something on the needle all the time. Like, especially if you've been knitting for way longer than me, like you would own many more pieces. But I've got no plans to stop knitting things, but it's just like a random thought that I had, and it's been growing a bit more lately, that like my wardrobe is growing as well. But yeah, let me know what you do really, or what you think. I don't really mind it. I'm like, that's all right, I'm gonna wear them. I don't really have to wear like have a ton of wear out of all of them. It's more like a collection, and I do see them as like art pieces that you're creating and you're keeping and you can wear as well. Like it's a very nice balance. But so yeah, I don't know, I just thought to share that. All right, let's get to the whips. Let's get to the fun part. All right, let's start with the squishiest cardigan ever. This is the Daydreamer Cardigan by Kutavakika. And, oh, guys, I love this so much. I think it's more the color and also the fabric. So this is knit, it's a raglan cardigan, and it's knit in half fisherman's rip. And this was my first time trying this stitch. And it's so satisfying to knit. So basically you do ribbing, and then on the wrong side you knit your stitches. So there's no purling involved when you knit flat. So now I finished the body, I finished the bottom band and the neckband. So the neckband is this beautiful like folded twisted rib, and then the bottom band is a double knitted bottom band, which is my favorite bottom band, and I really enjoy knitting it as well. I know it goes really slow, but it gives a very beautiful finishing. I did add buttonholes. The pattern itself, it doesn't ask you to add buttonholes. It does have instructions to do so if you want, but the one that she's modeling, she's using like snap buttons, but I did want to have buttons on this, so I added 6 buttonholes. And the technique that I use is the one that Florence Miller shares in her step-by-step cardigan, the one that you don't have to cut your yarn. It's so easy, and it doesn't like leave you with tons of like ends to weave in, which is good. My last buttonhole ends here. So I was planning to have one on the neckband, and then I forgot to add it. And then I realized there won't be any time that I will like button this up to the whole, you know, like up until here. That won't happen. I might even leave the last one open. So I thought that's fine, but I'm going to still add a button to it so it just keeps it balanced, but there's no buttonhole here, which is funny. Yeah, I finished the body. This is knit up on a 5mm needle. It's a very big gauge. It's an Aran weight, and I'm holding 3 strands of yarn together. I did go a bit wild, but I did want to have a bit of like a mold effect for this pattern. So I was playing with different yarns that I had to see what color I would like, and I ended up with this pair. So I had this Alpaca 2 in stage planned for another project, but I didn't end up like knitting that one. And I held it with this BC Garn Bio Shetland. These are both light fingering yarn. So the Alpaca 2 is a 50-50 blend of alpaca and wool. It's 50 gram, 250 meters. And this one is 100% wool. And it's 270, I think, 280 meters per 50 grams. So like light fingering. And I'm holding it with the Story Alpaca base from Chaska yarn in the color Ink. The Bio Shetland is in the color 20. It's like this very beautiful navy color. And the Isager one is in color 36. It's a very like burgundy, it's more like purple. And the fabric is gorgeous. Oh, I love this. It even turned out better than I thought, like the color that it gives. Like from a distance, it looks a bit like navy, but when you go close, you do see that like red pop out. I really love it. It's so soft as well, so squishy. Yeah, I'm so excited about this. I do only have the sleeves left to go, and I did make the body a bit cropped, I think 5 centimeters less than the actual length. I'm knitting this in the 2nd size, but that's the only modification that I really made to the pattern. The neckband is also a bit shorter, I think 2 centimeters shorter, and then I've got the sleeves to go. The sleeves are like this very, sort of like in a balloony way, which I do really love. So there's no decreases along the sleeves. I don't know if I want to knit the sleeves flat, because I do know people do that when like in these sort of textures, then that you have to knit when you knit flat on the wrong side. But if you knit in the round, you need to purl those rows. I don't mind purling that much, especially on sleeves, because it's like a smaller circumference. And I don't know if I want to do like seaming for the sleeve. So I'll probably just knit in the round and just purl under every other row. But yeah, it's very beautiful. I really love the weight. It's so lightweight, even though I've been holding 3 strands together. And I only have 2 of each. So I think I'll be fine. I've only got this much left from the lace weight, and I only got 2. This is like 420 meters per ball, so it's pretty generous. I got 2, hoping that it will be enough. I don't know if it is. I'll see how far I go. But yeah, I'm very excited to have this one finished. I really wanted to have like a very easy to throw on cozy cardigan, just for like very colder mornings. In our house, as I said, it's like usually cold, and I know I'm going to be getting a lot of wear out of this one. I never had this type of a cardigan, like crew neck, cozy, squishy, so I really love the vibe. The raglans are very beautiful. It's like this 3-stitch raglan, and the way you do increases in this sort of like a half fisherman's rib texture is different. And then the inside of this even does look nice. It's a bit different than the actual right side. I don't know. I think the inside of it might look more like brioche. I don't know, I've never knit brioche, but I think from what I've seen, when people knit brioche, it looks more like the wrong side of the half fisherman's rib, which still looks very nice. But I think I like this side of it a bit more. It's more like defined, the knit stitches. So yeah, that's all I had to share about this. If you've guys got some like random colors of yarn laying around, just combine them and maybe you get some very exciting colors out of it. I don't know. I think this is a new hobby of mine, to just combine different colors of yarn and just see what color you get out of it. Okay, are we ready for the most exciting whip. If you've watched my last video, you know which one I'm about to share. So I bought this book from Marie-Éve, the Shetland book a while back, and it's gorgeous. But I got it for a reason. I was planning to knit the Yale cardigan in this book. You can actually purchase this book as a separate pattern on Ravelry as well. I don't know why I thought that's not an option, but I don't mind owning this book. This is such a beautiful book with all these beautiful photo shoots, and it's gorgeous. There's something about Marie-Éve's pattern photo shoots that is just so dreamy and whimsical. Yeah, so I'm knitting the Yale cardigan. In my last video, I did share the whole story behind how I went about choosing colors and how I really decided, there were like no logic behind it. I'm not using the colors suggested in the pattern, which just makes it a bit trickier because there's so many colors in this design. I think there's like 11 contrast colors. Guys, I can't believe I just cast on a Marie-Éve design. This is like a dream come true for me. And honestly, I'm not exaggerating at all. It's exactly how I feel. I'm just so excited, so proud. Guys, look at this beautiful color work pattern. I don't know how it's coming through. I did try to steam block this because it was really curling and I wanted you to see like a better view of this. It still does curl quite a bit, but let me try to give you a closer shot of my colors. Okay, so this cardigan, as you can see, it knits bottom up. So you cast on like a million stitches, really, and then you knit bottom up. And as you can see in the front, I need to steek this. So it's knit in the round like most Fair Isle designs are, and there is like steeking involved. So I'm like leaving, I think I've added 2 extra stitches for the steek section just to have a bit of a safer space to mess up if I do. And yeah, you just basically knit up bottom up until you reach the neck. And then you got to do steeking for the sleeves as well. My first time trying steeking, I'm scared like really badly, but it's fine. I mean, I can't really do much now. It's already on my needles. There's no way going back, and I think it's going to be all right. This yarn is really sticky. I'm going to talk about the yarn in a second, so it should be fine. And I've got no idea how I'm going about with the colors. So for some reason, I did say that I didn't go with the color palette that she chooses for this design, which is already beautiful, but I just wanted to have like a bit of a play with the color, which I find really fun when it comes to like color work knitting. Like that's one fun part of the process for me, to choose colors, get a beautiful like color palette more unique to you. So I'm going to put up like with all the colors that I ended up buying, so you get a bit of like an idea of like the palette that I'm choosing. But I try to just basically pair them 2 by 2 and see how they go together, but I'm just choosing color as I go. I did have a rough plan on fiddle stitch when I was just trying to have something initially to start with, and then I sort of like followed all the colors up until this section, but I changed the last 2. Fair Isle knitting is really satisfying in the sense that you only do like, it's like 2-stranded color work. So you're only knitting with 2 colors in each row, which when I compare it to my rosy sweater, that was like 3-stranded color works with so many long floats. This is like way easier than that. It's like the knitting itself is really easy. It's more the colors you choose and then the steeking, of course. And this is knit on with a fingering weight yarn. So it's a very tight and tiny gauge. It's supposed to be knit on a 3.25 millimeter needle. I'm using 3.5 because I do knit a bit tighter when it comes to color work. The bottom section is knit in this seed stitch for a few rounds, but I think I'm going to add an I cord after I finish, because I do like the look of it a bit more, and it does help with the curling. I don't know if this will stop curling after I block it, but at this moment it just curls like crazy. I'm knitting this in the Jamieson and Smith's 2-ply jumper weight, fingering weight yarn. I'm gonna put all the colors that I've used on my ravelry, because there's no way I'm gonna read all of this out now because they won't make any sense. But I'm basically just holding it in this basket. Oops, I just lost one. But yeah, I've caked all of them, and I'm keeping the labels inside, so in case I forget like what color I need to knit with, I just can like check the label. I think that's the best way I found like to organize this many yarns. But I love these colors, guys. This is my favorite. This is like a very beautiful, like variegated, there's like blues and pinks. Oh, it's so gorgeous. And then I really like all of them. This is a very beautiful one. This is like again like a rust red. But my main color for the upper section is going to be in this green color, and I'm going to hold it with this beigey color. But I keep changing my mind. If I'll be honest, every round that I knit one motif, I just hate my colors. For that very second, I'm like, what was I thinking? These colors, they look very not nice together. But then it starts to grow on me once I like build all these rows together. I think this is a very trust the process knit, because you really need to see all these colors come together in the final piece for the whole palette to make sense. So I really hope that's going to happen at the end, and I like love what my colors that I chose. But as I said, like once I finish this first blue section, which I think it's like pops out more in the design. So there's these two sections in the bottom section of the cardigan that I think stand out more amongst the rest of the colors. So for me, the first one's in this blue color, but when I finished that, I was like, I hated the colors. But now I love it. I'm like, wow, that's such a beautiful blue that goes really nicely with the rest of the sections. So that's what I'm trying to learn with this, to just trust my choices, trust the process, keep just using whatever color that just speaks to you in that moment, and then go with it, you know. So I'm really enjoying this. It's like one of the most exciting knitted projects that I've been doing. Like, it's so fun, you know. It's like having a color book, and then you've got all these colors in front of you, and then you just choose whichever you want for each section. It's so fun. But I've started to build some favorites. I think this section is probably my favorite. It's like these two. I've paired these two together. So this one's been my favorite. I'm actually using, for some of the colors, I'm using another yarn. So this is the Biches color in the color, I think, I'll put it in the description, but it's this very beautiful blue. And then I'm also pairing, for one section, this is my Rama Finale from another project that I had left over. This is a sport weight, but I think it's pretty close, as in like the weight. So for this last section, I used that one because I think it does have a beautiful pink to it. Now I'm at a critical section that I need to make a very, very important decision, because the other section is the other part that has more of a color, like a pop-up color in the cardigan. So I don't know which one, how I want to go with it. I've been thinking, I can't explain this, it's not going to make any sense, but I've been thinking about colors since last night. I think I've got an idea now of like my next two colors, but I'll see how it goes. But yeah, I absolutely love this. I'm so glad that I've finally decided to just go with this steeking project, because it was always like holding me back with some very beautiful designs that I really loved. And then the moment I realized, okay, I need to do steeking, I was like, okay, no, I don't want to do it. So I don't want that to keep happening. I think it's time for me to just face my fear and just steek a project. I think I'm going to do a practice on like a swatch before I actually cut into my cardigan. But so many of you reached out to me from my previous video, which was really kind, just trying to give me like confidence about steeking and just tell me that it's not too scary. It sounds scary, but it's not as bad as you feel. I've got a question though. I don't know if any of you have knit this before or something similar. I do have all these ends for the beginning of the round, okay? And that's exactly where the steeking is going to happen. So does that mean I won't need to end any of those, weave in any of those ends? Because when you steek that, you basically get rid of this section. I don't know if that's the case, but please tell me if it is. And also, if you've got any like must-to-know tips, I'm obviously going to look up a lot of videos on YouTube for steeking, but if there's like some must-to-know tips that you know by steeking so many pieces, I'm all ears. Just tell me in the comments, and it definitely helps me by like building the confidence. I know this is going to take me a good while to finish. I'm not in a rush, to be honest, but I really didn't, this section didn't take that much. So I'm already halfway through the bottom section of the chart. So there's one chart for the bottom section, and the top section is in 2 colors only. So all the crazy fun part happens in this section. So, and then you've got the sleeves and all of that. And then there's like this very beautiful band that you knit in the front after you do the steeking. But yeah, I think you guys are going to be seeing this baby a lot in my podcast, which I don't think you mind, guys. This is so fun. I don't know how much of a fan of like a Fair Isle pattern you guys are, but it's really enjoying and exciting. But let me know what you think about my colors. You need to trust me. I think once I get the whole cardigan knit up together, it's going to be a very beautiful, like it'll play really nicely together at the end. So let's all trust my color choices here and hope for the best. But yeah, it's like I think it's like a 16 stitch repeat. So the repeats are really easy to memorize, and there's so many of them. After a few like 2 or 3 repeats, you get the hang of it and you don't really need to look at the chart. But there's so many stitches, so each row does take a good while, and yeah, I just love it. Okay, I could actually just talk about this forever, but I'll have to stop myself. I hope you guys are as excited as I am. This is really giving me joy. It's so fun. It's so fun. Okay, I've got one more whip, and that's the last one. So for those of you who I upset last time by frogging my green ivy blouse, which was due to not a right choice for the yarn. So I wasn't happy with the yarn, so I had to frog it back, even though I had sort of like finished the sweater, but it's back on my needles again. So we have the ivy blouse by Petite Knit back on the needles. So this time I'm using the most beautiful yarn combo. I'm going to talk about the yarn first. So I don't know if you guys remember, but I did knit this cardigan sort. It's called Popo Jacket by Ailbíona. I knit this last year. It's in the Isager Merilin. I'll show you the yarn. Isager Merilin. It's in the color 31S. And it's 80% wool, 20% flax, 50 gram wool, 208 meters. So it's fingering weight. And then I'm holding it with the Isager Mohair in the color 36. So these 2 yarn. And I knit that one in the same yarn combo, same color. And guys, I wear that cardigan every day. Basically, it's such an easy to throw on cardigan, or it's called a jacket, but I don't think it's a jacket. But other than the design itself that I love, there's something about the yarn combo that gives the nicest feeling. Like, it's so soft in a very different way. I don't know how to explain it. There's something about this combo. I think if you guys can get your hands on the Merilin by Isager and can pair it with any mohair or any fluff, it doesn't have to be mohair, I think you're really gonna love and enjoy the fabric. It's so beautiful. So I was like, I was planning to pair this Merilin with the Alpaca 2 for another project that didn't happen. So once I used the Alpaca 2 for my darling cardigan, not darling, the Daydreamer cardigan, I was left with the Merilin. So I was like, why not to pair it with the mohair again, since I really love that fabric, and just knit a sweater with it. I really love the ivy blouse, so I was really sad that it didn't happen. I'll show you a close-up of the fabric that these 2 yarn create. It's so beautiful, and I wish you could touch this. It's the softest. honestly. So yeah, this is a top-down sweater. It's got a very unique, not unique, it's seen in other patterns as well, but this is the thing that about this sweater that really stood out to me was the shoulder construction. So it's like a very tiny saddle shoulder, and then you keep adding increases for the sleeve section. So I'm still halfway through the increases for the yoke. I still have a fair bit to go to finish it. It's knit up on a 3.5mm needle, so a very tiny gauge. She's knitting hers in 2 fluffs, so 2 strands of mohair held together. I'm going with a different combo, and I think I like this more. I'm knitting this time in the 3rd size to just have a bit of more an easier and looser fit, because I think that's what I prefer, and I love it. I love this color. It gives a bit of like a mold effect as well, because they don't. This one's like the Merilin. It's this heathered look. There's like blacks and reds and burgundy in there, so it does give the color a very interesting, you know, like dimension, and it's a very lightweight, breathable fabric. I know I'm going to be wearing this sweater a ton, even in warmer weathers. I think I was actually initially planning to knit the Ivy blouse in a striped version, so I did make this gauge swatch. The colors actually look really nice together. So I do think I'm going to use this like this 2 colors for another striped sweater later. But I don't know. I was like, no, I'm just going to go with the one color. But I really like this. This is like a leftover blue that I had from my Móinéar. And yeah, I held it with this. It looks really nice. I love this combo. And I also have another swatch. If you haven't like seen my last video, this is my next project planned, which is going to be the floret top by Marie-Éve again. It's the Knitting for Olive Pure Silk helped with Isager 301, and it's creating this beautiful sort of pinky color. And this is going to be my next project once I get the Daydreamer cardigan off my needles and get a bit of like a summery vibe going on. Because yeah, it's getting a bit warmer here. It's still not that warm. We're getting there, I think. I'm really looking forward for cherry picking. I think that happens around December. But I'm mostly excited for this sour cherry. If you guys are not into sour cherry, you should. It's just so good. I can eat like a ton in one sitting. Last year we did go, and then I got like 10 kilos, and we ate a lot, and then I ended up making some like sour cherry jam out of it, which was really good. So this year I'm really looking forward to going again. All right, let's wrap it up here. If you reached this point of the video, thank you so much for hanging out with me today. And as always, thank you so much for all your support, your comments. They're just so lovely, and I really love going through the comments after each video. That's just the most exciting part for me. So please let me know what you think about any of my projects that I shared today. Let me know what you've been up to, and if you've got any questions, feel free to ask them. If you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe if you haven't already to my channel so you won't miss out on my future videos. You can also find me on Instagram under the same handle, Honey Wool Wonders. I'll link everything that I talked about in the description of the video. I hope you're having a wonderful day or night wherever you are. Happy knitting, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!